ladies, welcome to the 2004 World Series of Poker.
Tonight, the spotlight is on the women. The best female poker players from around the globe have gathered to show the world that poker is not just a man's game. We'll see some new faces.
It's my dream to win the ladies. That's one of my goals in life, is to win a ladies tournament at the World Series of Poker.
Some big names.
Hopefully women will see that you can get to the top of the game and you can be just as good as any man in the world.
And some colorful personalities.
Today's game, I'm going to be tiptoeing through a minefield of feminine poker power.
It's Ladies' Night at the World Series of Poker. Welcome to the World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life. 2004 certainly shaping up to be the year of the woman here at the Horseshoe Casino. Already 2 women have won gold bracelets at this year's World Series, and tonight we'll see a group of ladies battle it out for over $58,000. Hello everybody, Lon McCarron alongside Norman Chad, and over 200 women are competing in this year's World Series event, and tonight we've got a World Championship event just for them.
Yeah, Lon, tonight we're going to see yet another thing women can do better than I can: play poker. Women can't live with them, can't check and raise them.
We got a mixture of new and seasoned pros at the table. There's Karina Jett, wife of well-known tournament player Chip Jett. Finished 4th in this event last year.
Susie Isaacs won back-to-back ladies events in 96 and 97. It was 10th in the main event in 1999.
And Millie Shiu is a hairdresser from San Jose and our current chip leader with 40,000.
And this is Renee Wexler, former commercial pilot, and she currently is the short stack at the table.
And we look at the Miller High Life Pocket Cam. The whole card's up, Renee Wexler.
I race.
Ace-8 unsuited.
And she goes all in for her final 1,000 chips.
Crystal Dunn from San Diego.
Don't call that big race.
Renee Wexler is a terrific story, has always been an overachiever, graduated high school at 16, became a pilot, was the youngest female FedEx pilot they ever had at age 23. Over to Jeena Burnett now, and her whole card show Queen Jack unsuited. And she will be in the pot as well. The percentage next to a player's name is a probability they will have the best hand at the end. Sarah Casey looking at a 6-2 offsuit.
And she is in the small blind and decides, since the price is half, she'll come in with that raw hand.
Tracy Phan now. Looks, that's going around like a fever, the 6-2.
And she's already in the big blind, so she can play that 6-2 without putting any more money in.
I love 6-2.
Yes, you would.
Renee Wexler all in, going against 3 callers.
Yeah, Renee actually was in a bad skiing accident a while ago, and doctors told her she would never walk again, but indeed she is walking again and now playing here at the final table of the ladies' event.
Makes her living as an investor, invested in herself here. She got 3 hearts, Wexler with a flush draw, Burnett with a flush draw, Casey and Phan a couple of 6s. Casey will check.
And now Tracy Phan, who is probably the most aggressive player at this table, will bet her pair of 6s.
Renee Wexler, of course, all in already. Jeena Burnett now has a flush draw, and she'll give it up.
And the other 6-2. The first to act usually is in better shape if they bet, and I don't know if Sarah Casey wants to come in with her 6-2. She won't.
So when we go to the turn, we'll have 2 players, Wexler, who was all in with a flush draw, and Phan, who's got a couple of 6s. And Renee Wexler's tournament life on the line right now. And here comes the turn card. It is another 6, Phan now with 3 6s.
And Renee Wexler, who's beaten big odds before, hoping to beat the odds here with a river heart to stay alive.
And here comes the river card. It is a club, and a set of 6s is going to win it for Tracy Phan. Renee Wexler, in her first World Series of Poker final table, finishes in 9th place.
All right, it's been a pleasure, women. Good luck to all of you.
And a very competitive first hand sets the tone for today's Texas Hold'em tournament. Here are the Miller High Life rules for Texas Hold'em. Each player is first dealt 2 down cards. A round of betting then occurs as players decide for the first time if they're in or they're out. Then come the community cards with the flop, the turn, and the river with a round of betting after each. In the end, the best 5-card combination wins the hand and takes the pot. As we look down at this championship table of the ladies event, you may notice the absence of some of the well-known female players. Most of them got knocked out early in the tournament, but one player, Annie Duke, did not even enter. She opted to play in the Omaha Hi-Lo tournament, taking place on the outer tables right now.
I actually don't have anything against the ladies event. I just personally won't play in it because I feel like I can compete on an equal footing with everybody, and I don't want to be separated out. As, you know, oh, go play with the women because you need to play with the women because, you know, the men are so scary, you know? The men are scared of me.
I'm not scared of her. She wants to play me in Yahtzee heads up. Let's get it on.
All right, Jeena Burnett now in her first World Series of Poker. Let's check her hole cards. King 3 suited.
I'm all in.
And she's got about 1,500 left, and she puts it all in the pot. And looks very worried. Tracy Phan, Karina Jett kick it in. Bonnie McHugh also over to Millie Shiu. Ace 6 in the hole.
And with an ace in a hole, 1,500's a pretty cheap price to try to take out a player, and Millie Shiu says, I'm going to play.
And she does come in, and she's got the advantage. It's going to be Burnett and Shiu on the flop.
Jeena started playing Tournament Hold'em when she was pregnant with her first child 2 years ago.
Her husband taught her. Her husband, right there, actually, Chester Burnett, used to play in the NFL for the Browns and the Jaguars.
And they met playing poker in Las Vegas.
Now here comes the flop, Burnett and Shiu. Burnett gets a pair of threes, but Shiu with a heart draw now.
No heart, no heart, no heart, no heart, no heart, no heart, no heart.
5 of diamonds on the turn.
No heart, no heart, no heart, no heart, no heart, no heart.
No heart.
That's right, yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Jeena Burnett takes the hand with a pair of threes, and her husband celebrates right along with her. Millie Shiu did all she could. Heart draw did not come through. Jeena Burnett lives to play another hand.
There you go. There you go.
Husband Chester's gone from player to head cheerleader. Gina's enjoying his support, but more than that, enjoying that she's still at the table.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life, and in part by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-size. And Harrah's Entertainment. The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. Texas Hold'em.
Welcome back to the Ladies Limit Hold'em Championship, event number 20 of 33 here at the World Series of Poker.
And we are inching up towards the main event, $5 million first prize. And Lon, they let women into that now. I was against it, but progress is progress.
As you already mentioned, Susie Isaacs, who just folded, finished as high as 10th in that event a couple years ago. Jeena Burnett just survived one all-in.
I'm all in.
And she's going to go again with her Queen 10.
Come on. Let's go.
Husband Chester still on the edge of his seat to Tracy Phan now. King Jack offsuit.
I raise all in.
He's going to try to knock Jeena Burnett out of this tournament. Earlier we saw Millie Shiu try to do that with an ace, and Tracy Phan doesn't have to pay much with her King Jack to try to do the same. So Jeena Burnett's tournament life will be on the line again right now.
Come on.
Jeena and her husband, Chester, fill in this room with tension. The flop gives Phan a pair of jacks.
That's bad news for Jeena. She has an inside straight draw with a 9, or a queen would also keep her alive.
9.
Turn card is a 3, which pairs the board.
9.
On the river, needs a 9 or a queen. It's a 10 of diamonds. Not going to do it for Jeena Burnett as Tracy Phan wins the hand.
Good luck, ladies.
Jeena will go away in 8th place, takes home $5,400. Tracy Phan adds to her stack. And Jeena Burnett's husband and biggest supporter right there to help ease the pain.
It's a good round, man.
Yeah.
In the outer tables, the Omaha event continues. About 100 players left, and Annie Duke's still alive.
Annie's brother, Howard Lederer, who is also in this tournament, gave her her first poker lessons over the phone when she was living in Billings, Montana, and she became so good at beating the boys, she became known as Annie Legend.
Unlike her brother Howard and Chris Jesus Ferguson playing here at Annie's table, Annie has never before won a World Series championship bracelet. She is arguably the most famous female poker player, and if she wins here today, this poker-playing mom's fame and fortune is sure to grow.
All right, Lexi, don't start anything with her and stop splashing.
I think that people are intrigued by somebody who's a mom of 4, raising her 4 kids and doing something that is so male. Well, I think that I just really don't fit the mold of somebody who's a poker player. I might be tilting now, you guys. I'm just telling you.
You look at Annie Duke and you see a beautiful woman, you see a mother, you see an educated woman, and she has a great girl next door quality that I think a lot of women like myself can relate to.
I have a book deal for my autobiography, a TV development deal for a sitcom, and I've been teaching Ben Affleck to play poker this year. I actually beat him out a lot of money. The first time I won like $20,000 the first night that I played with him. A lot of people said to me, well, don't you think you should play in the ladies' event because you're kind of an ambassador for the ladies? And I said, well, I think hopefully I'm more of an ambassador by showing them what the next level is. The next level is to be me or Kathy Liebert or Jennifer Harmon or Cindy Violet and play where the money is.
And that's exactly what Annie is doing. First prize in the Omaha event, $138,000. For the women's event, top prize, $58,000. We continue now in this ladies' limit Hold'em Championship. 7 players still remaining at the table.
And it's important to note this is limit poker as opposed to no limit lawn. There are limits on each betting round that they can bet, and those limits go up as the night wears on.
The table folds over to Crystal Dunn. As we look at her hole card, she has an ace-3 suited.
And she has a short stack, and as we've seen before, players are going to play that type of hand with few chips left.
She'll raise $4,000 now to Bonnie McHugh with an ace-7 suited, and Bonnie will call it.
Bonnie says her ex-husband's taught her the most about poker. See, we are good for something, Lon.
The flop comes out 9-10-6. McHugh picks up a straight draw. An action to Crystal Dunn. She'll bet at $2,000.
And it will be called by Bonnie immediately.
Bonnie works as an accountant. Chris Moneymaker works as an accountant. The turn card, and Dunn now picks up a flush draw. And that is good enough for Crystal Dunn to go all in. And now Bonnie McHugh to decide yes or no. She'll call it.
An ace or 6 on the river would give us a split pot, and Crystal would avoid elimination. What you would prefer to see is a 3 or a heart to take the entire pot.
Going to the river now. And it is a heart. Crystal Dunn gets the river heart and wins the hand coming from behind. She was 1 card from elimination, but beats Bonnie McHugh on the river, and she's still in this championship.
Finally, I make it.
Welcome back to the Horseshoe in this ladies' championship, picking up action with Sarah Casey all in on the river. Millie Shiu with a big lead. Sarah needs an ace or a queen on the river to stay in the tournament. It comes down to king of hearts, no help. Sarah Casey is eliminated by Millie Shiu. Sarah will take home 7th place and $7,300. Gets a hug from her poker mentor, Susie Isaacs, as she makes her way to the exit. And we continue 6-handed now in this ladies' championship, $1,000 buy-in. Tracy Phan folds. Karina Jett also will fold. Over to Crystal Dunn. Had a couple of good moments today to stay alive. And we're looking at a queen 10 offsuit. And Crystal will bet $4,000. Over to Bonnie McHugh. And she's squeezing suited ace-3. And not a lot of chips. She calls it. And McHugh with the slight lead. We go to the flop. Wow, Dunn flops a nut straight.
Hello.
Oh, what a nice sight to flop that nut straight. Bonnie McHugh has a couple of aces, but only 1 chip left. And she's in a world of hurt as Crystal Dunn puts Bonnie McHugh all in. Going to the turn now.
Oh.
And everybody sees the nut straight that Crystal Dunn holds.
Crystal's lucky to be here. She was the first player knocked out of a satellite tournament for this event the other day. Her and her boyfriend Peter started to drive home. He said, nah, let's go back, turn the car around, and let's play. And here she is.
Turn cards at 10. Now only a queen on the river will split the pot and save Bonnie McHugh from elimination, but it's not to be. A 7 of hearts, and Bonnie McHugh in her 20th World Series of Poker goes out in 6th place, takes home just over $9,000, and another big win for Crystal Dunn. On the outer tables, Annie Duke continues her quest for her first World Series of Poker championship. 27 players left only.
What a statement this would be for the growth of women in poker. If Annie can win, she'd become the 3rd woman to win a World Series title this year, along with Cindy Violette and Kathy Liebert.
Annie takes down a pot right there, so she is that much closer to her first title. Meanwhile, in one of the busier days at the Horseshoe, a 3rd tournament just getting underway. One of the participants is none other than professional poker player Chip Jett, husband of Karina Jett from the ladies tournament. Chip no doubt keeping an eye on her progress as he plays in his tournament. There is Karina Jett, action over to her as the ladies table continues towards a championship bracelet. Karina Jett will bet $4,000 with a queen jack suited. Over to Crystal Dunn. She's had a pretty good table so far. She will fold. Millie Shiu folds, and the action over to Susie Isaacs, the 2-time champion of this event. And she will look her whole cards, or card, I guess. Just the ace is good enough for her to make a decision, Norm?
Well, I think her decision might be easier if she looked at both of her cards, but we've seen players do this before when they have very few chips left. They go, oh, what the heck, I'll go all in. She can't go all in because it's a limit game, so she'll just bet $2,000.
And Jett will call immediately. And Susie Isaacs, right there, you see, she's going to bet before the flop.
And that makes Karina Jett raise her eyebrows. Susie has decided that her ace is good enough to make her stand.
Here's the flop, and Karina Jett picks up 2 jacks.
Believe me, Susie wants to know what that other card is now.
And the jacks are good enough for a call from Karina.
And Susie immediately bets all in the dark before we see the turn card.
So now here is the turn card, 2 of spades. No help, and Karina now calls the pre-turn bet from Susie Isaacs. And she's ready to reveal her missing card. Ace and 3.
And that means Susie Isaacs will need an ace and an ace only, or she is eliminated from this tournament.
Susie Isaacs, a very popular poker writer in her 11th World Series, and this will end her run this year in this tournament, taking home almost $11,000.
Oh, you see how Chip Jett is checking out what's going on over there. You know, sometimes you want to see how your wife's doing at the poker table, and sometimes you just want to make sure she's not talking to another guy.
Well, tournament director Matt Savage is not a threat to Chip Jett. We have seen married couples enter tournaments here at the World Series before, but Karina and Chip are a rare find as both make their living as professional poker players.
I come for poker advice.
There you go, baby.
I'm Chip Jett.
And I'm Karina Jett.
And we are both professional poker players.
That's not your line.
I met my wife in Tunica, Mississippi at another poker tournament.
That's how we met, and we've been together ever since.
We just had a child in October, so it's a cross of trying to play poker, trying to find time to take care of the baby.
Big hugs and sleep tight.
When I do go play, then he'll stay home and take care of the baby for me, and when he's playing tournaments, I'll stay home.
I definitely don't want Athena to play poker. I tell everyone I play so she doesn't have to.
Such a sweet girl.
Balancing my family life and poker is a battle that I'm still trying to figure out, really.
It's a lot of pressure. Like, the bills still come in, and so we have that on our minds all the time, you know. Because we're both poker players, that pressure is even more so because we don't have that stability that some other couple might have.
The highs and lows of tournament poker are especially tough because 19 out of 20 days you lose.
If he's late playing all night, I understand why he's playing all night. If he lost $20,000 last night, I understand why he lost $20,000.
I don't think anyone else could be as supportive as someone that's been there and done that.
All right, good luck.
Thank you. I'll sacrifice my luck, but you'll have some luck.
Okay.
It would be a fine day at the office if both Karina and Chip could cash today. Welcome back to this Ladies Limit Hold'em Championship. We are down to 4 players, and coincidentally, all were born in Vietnam. There is Tracy Phan with a suited King 6. She'll bet 4,000 to Karina Jett. And she's got Ace 7 offsuit. She'll raise it 2,000. Crystal Dunn, Millie Shiu get out of the hand.
And Phan calls. She continues to play a lot of pots and play aggressively.
Now the flop. It comes 7-9-5. Jett with a pair of 7s, Phan with a straight draw. And Phan checks. Jett bets 2,000 with a glare.
Wow, that's a WWE stare down I didn't expect.
Phan re-raises, Jett re-raises, Phan calls it.
Cat fight now.
Now to the turn. It's a 3 no help to Jett, and Phan now has a diamond draw too.
Boy, they like looking at each other. I like looking at them. I wonder if Tracy's available.
Let me put it this way, Norm. The percentage next to your name would be 0. And now the river card. It is a diamond. Tracy Phan's patience rewarded with a diamond flush.
Oh boy, she had nothing in this whole hand. She had a straight and a flush draw, and Karina is not gonna like this. And baby needs new shoes.
And Phan turns over the cards. Karina Jett sees the bad news and takes a big hit. Her stack getting shorter and shorter.
I had a straight draw on the flop. I had a straight draw.
Karina not happy with that explanation. Tracy Phan putting a bad beat on her and taking in a lot of chips.
Meanwhile, things are getting very interesting at the Omaha Hi-Lo tournament. Crowd watching Annie Duke, who has played her way past 222 others and is now at the final table. She has finished second a lot of times here at the World Series, but does not have a bracelet.
And Annie will have her work cut out for her with Eric Seidel, who's got to be considered a major threat at the $10,000 buy-in main event coming up in a couple of weeks. And here's the son of the legendary Doyle Brunson, Todd Brunson, who plays in some of the biggest cash games around. He once won $13.5 million in 2 days.
We'll keep an eye on Annie as she progresses through that Omaha Hi-Lo tournament. Here is our Toyota chip count for our Ladies Championship event. Crystal Dunn, commanding lead. She's got almost half the chips in play. Crystal looks at her hole cards, and she will not play. Over to Millie Shiu. And the Miller High Life Pocket Cam shows a couple of 10s, and she'll raise it to 6,000. Tracy Phan now with a suited King 8. He reaches and makes the call. Karina Jett, a couple of 4s.
She's in the big blind, and so for half the price she can get in, and she'll play the 4s.
He is the short stack at the table right now, so 3-handed going to the flop. And 10-4-3 jackpot for everybody. Shiu with 3 10s, Jett with 3 4s, Phan with a spade draw. Tracy Phan will be first to bet now, and she goes for 3,000. Now to Karina Jett. She'll call it. Millie Shiu right there raises 3,000. Phan calls. You got your scorecard out, Norm?
Yeah, I love the women tend to act faster than the men do. It's amazing. Men contemplate each bet like it's the last chips on earth. But look at all the raising going around. About 37 raises, I believe.
Everybody's still in the hand. Millie Shiu with the advantage with her set of 10s.
Let's all stand up. Why don't we all stand up?
I stand up too.
And Chip Jett will stand up, unfortunately knocked out of his tournament, but an interested spectator here.
Well, what the heck, Lon? Let's stand up ourselves.
On the turn, it's a King of Hearts. Now Phan improves to 2 kings, but the set of 10s still in the lead for Millie Shiu.
Karina Jett with the middle set is in a bad position. She has bet, and Millie Shiu has raised with the top set of 10s.
And Tracy Phan calls it. And now Karina Jett is all in for her last 9,000.
And Millie Shiu in command of this hand. Tracy Phan still alive if she can make a spade on the river. And Karina Jett is hanging on. She needs a miracle 4.
I don't even want to see the river.
One chance left for Karina Jett to stay in this tournament.
We will have a side pot between Tracy Phan and Millie Shiu here after the river.
Here comes the river, 5 of hearts, and you see that Millie Shiu with the check mark does have the best hand.
What you do?
And now she looks to Tracy Phan. Millie bets, Tracy calls. And Millie will show the bad news to Phan and Jett as she takes most of their chips.
Oh my God. Yes!
And Karina Jett will finish in 4th place.
Don't give up. Thank you, honey.
What an entertaining massacre that hand was.
Thank you. You had a set tip? I knew it. I knew you had a set tip.
So Chip Jett will forget his loss for the moment and console his wife, Karina, who wins almost $13,000 for her efforts at the final table.
Hey, that's gas money, a babysitter, and 2 TV dinners.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
This year, we've witnessed an explosion in the popularity of poker as thousands of people have turned out for the World Series. There have been several first-time winners, including James Vogel and Thomas Thunder Keller. Another first-timer, young Scott Fishman, won the horse tournament, giving him back-to-back championships in just 3 days.
For almost 2 months now I've been in the zone. I've been cashing left and right. Finally I just popped it. Back to back. I don't know what to say.
Let's take a look at the current Toyota Player of the Year leaderboard. Daniel Negreanu on top, just ahead of Scott Fishman. Howard Lederer in 7th position with 190 points. On day 1 of the ladies' event, over 200 women entered. Amongst the field were 5 of the 7 women who have ever won bracelets in World Series Open events. These include stud champ Jerry Thomas, recent winner Cindy Violette, and limit hold'em champ Kathy Liebert. But there was one former champion who was sorely missed, Jennifer Harmon.
I've had a different physical challenge. I actually need a kidney transplant. Well, I was born with a genetic disease. My mom died when I was a teenager of kidney failure. And then a year later, they diagnosed me with the same thing. Because I'm so close to kidney failure, you're very weak, very tired. Emotionally, it's not an easy thing to face, because if you don't have kidneys, you die. And sometimes when your body is so physically tortured, it's difficult to look on the bright side. So you really have to be strong mentally, I think, to get back healthy. I don't think I'll ever do something I don't want to do. Just live life every minute.
While Jennifer Harmon is considered by most to be the best female player in the game, Annie Duke has quickly become the best known, and she is making an even bigger name for herself at the Omaha Hi-Lo event.
And she's playing this hand against her friend Eric Seidel. Omaha Hi-Lo, similar to Hold'em, except you get 4 cards in your hand, and you make your best high hand, and you try to make your best low hand. I tell you, Morlon, but you don't have security clearance.
So Annie Duke closing in on this Omaha Hi-Lo tournament and her first World Series bracelet.
I had that.
I flopped the nuts with 2 pair.
Wow, really?
All right, we'll check back with Annie and her quest for a championship bracelet. Here, the Toyota chip count for the ladies' final, and you see that Tracy Phan is down to her final 6,000. Millie Shiu with a pocket king 9. She will bet 3,000 over to Tracy Phan in her 5th World Series of Poker. She's got a queen 5 suited, and she's going to go all in with what she has remaining.
She had a bunch of chips a while ago, but it's been a slow, steady decline for her.
Now over to Crystal Dunn. She's thinking.
Get out. But I want to go heads up with her. It's better that way.
Crystal Dunn with an ace queen, and she is going to raise. She's going to be in the hand and more.
Wow.
Millie Shiu will call it.
And Tracy Phan knows with 2 people in against her, that diminishes her chances to stay alive here.
Right now, Crystal Dunn with the ace high has the advantage in the hand. And Tracy Phan ponders the future. The flop, Millie Shiu flops 3 kings.
And there virtually is no future for Tracy Phan. Looking at a set of kings from Millie Shiu. And now there'll be a side pot between Dunn and Shiu, and Dunn is going to bet.
And Millie Shiu will call it.
She'll slow play it and try to get more chips out of Crystal.
Oh, and look at this. Another 3, and Millie Shiu has a full house, a winning full house.
This hand is over. Millie Shiu cannot lose. Tracy's out of chips. She has no money. Maybe I can go talk to her now.
Crystal Dunn will bet 6,000 more. And Millie Shiu will call it.
Yeah, Crystal Dunn has no idea that she's drawing dead.
Well, now the board with a full house. And the best the other 2 can think that they have is try to split this pot, but they don't know that Millie Shiu's hiding a better full house.
Exactly. Crystal Dunn will check, and she would likely call any bet here, playing the board, hoping that that board holds up, but it's not going to hold up against Millie Shiu, who has the king's full house.
Crystal Dunn puts her chips in, and there, Millie Shiu turns over the winning hand. Tracy Phan will be eliminated in 3rd place. She'll take home just over $16,000. So we're going heads up between Millie Shiu and Crystal Dunn for the championship.
Millie's going to win because I think she's one of the best players. She's got a lot more experience than compared to Crystal. But you know, you never know.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And in part by Harrah's Entertainment. And Levitra. Ask your doctor about it today. Levitra. When it counts.
Las Vegas is a town that likes to do everything big. But you can cruise up and down the Strip night after night, and you won't find anything quite as big as this.
This is the greatest event in the history of mankind.
The strongest players in the world have come together.
This is the most prestigious event ever.
To decide once and for all who is the best of the best.
It's gonna be the hardest mentally tough thing I've probably ever done in my life.
This is poker at its highest level. This is blind man's bluff.
It's gonna be a war.
All right, our second installment of Blind Man's Bluff. It's played just like Texas Hold'em, but your 2 down cards are put right on your head. You don't see them, everybody else does.
Lon, this has become the premier event at this World Series, but look at these cards. These are cards you couldn't bring home to your mother.
Everybody must think they've got the best cards because they're looking around. Nobody else has anything. Lane Flack will be the first one to act. He will bet. And then over to Scotty when he's the only one with paint.
Oh, baby, I got him nutted.
And he throws it away.
Oh, I got him nutted. I'm all in.
Coney Gowan's going to call.
What a surprise. The first 2 words Mattisau ever learned were all in.
Now Amir Vahidi. He says he's all in. Flack goes all in. Now action to Cloney. I love how she plays the game, her style, her skill set, her instincts. A champion through and through.
Please.
Oh, I'm going to watch people up here.
She goes all in.
They all got 0.
Show the
I got
cards.
the same as everybody else.
All right, we're gonna bring the hands in.
I don't believe this. I'm drawing dead.
No, you're not drawing dead. You're just drawing loud.
2
All right, here comes the flop, and Vahidi with a pair of fives has the lead.
But Cloney's got the biggest flush draw. She's in a good position if she can get a diamond.
So far, the best hand is a pair of fives right here. The biggest diamond is here.
Sit down, Amir. You're not going to win the hand.
Cloney's got to take this. And it's a diamond!
There it is! Oh, but hold on. A 4 diamonds would give Amir a straight flush. And if he makes a straight flush, we'd have to go to commercial because I could not go on.
Amir's the only one that can beat Cloney. No, he won't do it. Cloney wins.
Oh, man, these women are taking over the world one pot at a time.
Round 2, Blind Man's Bluff to Cloney Gowan. Lane Flack and Mike Mattisau eliminated. Cloney.
All right.
1, 2.
Cost you $500 to play.
What a chump.
I got 3.
Doesn't even have enough money. Hasn't he ever heard of an ATM?
Anybody got $500 I can borrow to pay these guys?
There's the money in the bracelet that will go to the winner of this ladies' championship event here at the World Series of Poker. A little more than the winner of the Blind Man's Bluff event will get, I'm sure. We are heads up, though, for the championship. Those are the chips of Crystal Dunn from San Diego, California, our chip leader. She'll be going up against Millie Shiu from San Jose, California, in her 3rd World Series of Poker.
Crystal Dunn is 29. She is a nail tech. Millie Shiu is 35. She's a hairstylist. Both started playing poker about 3 or 4 years ago.
And a 10-8 unsuited, and Crystal Dunn will open the betting with 7,000. Now Millie Shiu with a pair of 4s will call. And the slight advantage to Shiu right now as we go to the flop. Crystal Dunn with a pair of 8s, Shiu a set of 4s.
Great flop again for Millie Shiu, who again is going to show great patience and slow play this set of 4s.
Dunn will come back with a bet. Over to Shiu. She'll raise it. Crystal Dunn now commits more chips to the pot.
She re-raises.
Shiu will re-raise that.
You know, men never act this quickly, Lon, except maybe when ordering at IHOP. I love the way they play.
Crystal Dunn, a decision now. Does she want to throw more of her chips into the pot?
She's got to figure she's up against a big pocket pair, but she wants to see the turn, so she throws more chips in.
All right, so we get ready for the turn. And Millie Shiu bets in the dark, throws in her last 9,000 before the turn.
And she is now all in. And if she loses this, Crystal Dunn will become the champion.
And the king of spades on the turn, and that seals the deal for Shiu.
It does, but I got to believe Crystal Dunn is going to pay her off because the pot's too big now. Just another 9,000 to see what happens.
Crystal Dunn and Millie Shiu have been following each other deeper and deeper into this pot.
And Millie Shiu, really in a couple of these heads-up duels, has really played better than Crystal. She's schooled her on slow playing and getting most of her chips out of her. And she'll get 9,000 more.
And Millie Shiu turns over the winning hand. Crystal Dunn kicks it in and takes a big hit to her chip stack. And Millie Shiu takes a lot of chips from Crystal Dunn, and it's a great confidence booster for her. So from the action at the final table of our Ladies Championship, we swing over to the final table at the Omaha Hi-Lo tournament, where Annie Duke is still alive and going 3-handed against Ron Graham and Eric Seidel.
Annie dropped out of the University of Pennsylvania just before completing her PhD in psycholinguistics. Shortly after she started playing poker, in 1994, she came to her first World Series. She finished 13th in her first event and 23rd in the main event that year, and she's been doing very well ever since.
Doing very well here at the Omaha Hi-Lo table. She is the chip leader. Ron Graham has folded. Now she's heads up against Eric Seidel. The flop has come. Annie, with the advantage in the hand, she's got a chance to take this whole pot.
Yeah, in fact, she has her low made already. Eric had a pair of aces, including the community cards, and she's on the brink of knocking out her good friend Eric Seidel. And with a 5 on the turn, she made a low and a straight, and Eric Seidel's going to have to go home.
Eric Seidel, 3rd place in this Omaha Hi-Lo event, and mixed emotions for Annie Duke right now, knocking out her good friend Eric Seidel.
Sorry, Eric, I didn't want to bust you.
And I'm sure some mixed emotions from Eric Seidel now, too, as he can't win it. He'll probably be rooting for Annie, but he'll take home over $30,000. Back now to the final table, heads up of the Ladies Championship. Millie Shiu with the chip lead right now. Crystal Dunn, first to act, 7-6 unsuited.
You don't have to know, but now only hands
She'll
are
call the big blind.
And Millie Shiu in the big blind was not raised, so she gets the pleasure of playing the worst hand in Hold'em, the 7-2 offsuit.
And here comes our flop, and it'll be 2 pair for Dunn, 7s and 6s, and a pair of 7s for Shiu.
And that is top pair for Shiu, so she's going to bet it, thinking it's best hand.
And Dunn comes right back, pushes harder, a raise.
And Millie Shiu has called. We saw Millie play a couple of big hands really well earlier, but it looks like Crystal might be turning the tide on this one.
And here comes the turn card, and now Dunn with a diamond draw.
Millie Shiu checks, and a better position now for Crystal Dunn.
And she is going to raise at 8,000.
And in calling there, Millie Shiu must believe she still has the best hand with the pair of 7s. She has Crystal either on a draw or 2 high cards.
The river card is an 8 of clubs, and the check mark next to Dunn shows she has the best hand. Millie Shiu checked. Crystal Dunn raises 8,000. And she feels like she's hurting.
I got you on the flop.
You didn't got me on the flop. You didn't get me on the flop.
Believe me. You can call, but I'm just saying. I will show my hand for you.
Shiu folds.
Did I got you before on the flop? I don't lie.
Good hand. Had a 7 also.
See, I flop and flop.
You got lucky. No? I know. I mean, you're getting hitting card now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The gloves are coming off at the Ladies' Championships. 2 final tables still to be determined, including the Omaha Hi-Lo, Annie Duke, looking for her first World Series of Poker bracelet. It's now early morning outside the Horseshoe Casino. And while Fremont Street may be empty, the Horseshoe is packed with anticipation. 2 final tables remain. 4 hungry players yearn to capture their first gold bracelet. Annie Duke, well, she always sits that way, but she's got everybody on the edge of their seats. She goes up against Ron Graham in the Omaha Hi-Lo event. Let's get back now to our final table of the Ladies' Championship with Millie Shiu now down to her last few chips. It has been a wild and woolly roller coaster ride for these 2 finalists. And Crystal Dunn right now having the most fun as she checks her hole cards. 8-5 suited.
How much?
And she looks at Millie Shiu, finds out how much to put her all in, 7,000. And that's exactly what happens.
Millie put the rest of her chips in before looking at her cards. Not much choice.
6-5 offsuit for Shiu.
Don't tell me flop the 6.
There have been some interesting flops today in this championship. And that is Crystal's boyfriend, Peter, looking on closer and closer to a title. Here comes the flop, and Shiu now with a straight draw. She's not dead.
She's looking for a 4 to make that straight and stay alive in this championship.
Crystal Dunn looking a little more worried. She wants to get this done with. A turn card, now Shiu has a heart draw also.
No more heart.
Crystal's still ahead in this hand with an 8 high against a 6 high and 1 card away from winning this championship now.
And the river card, a 7 of clubs, and that is going to do it. Crystal Dunn has won the Ladies' Championship here at the World Series of Poker.
I told you to do it. Didn't I tell you to do it?
Boyfriend Peter had told her to turn the car around and come play, and now they can drive home with a lot more money.
Millie Shiu will take second place in $32,000, but in her first World Series of Poker, Crystal Dunn is the 2004 World Series of Poker Ladies Hold'em champion, $58,000 and the championship bracelet.
Thank you.
We go over to the Omaha Hi-Lo table. Those are all the chips that Ron Graham has left against the formidable chip stack of Annie Duke, as these 2 go heads up for the championship bracelet, and everybody on pins and needles here at the Horseshoe.
Annie Duke declined to play with the other ladies today, and she's closing in on beating all the boys.
Cards are in the air. In Omaha, 4 hole cards are dealt to each player.
And this is Omaha Hi-Lo. You try to make either the best high hand or the best low hand, but there's not always a qualifying low hand at the end of this game.
Annie Duke now will raise the pot over to Ron Graham now. And he puts in his final chips. Ron Graham is all in. And Annie Duke on the verge of a big breakthrough.
And a good-looking Omaha Hi-Lo hand for Annie, and not so good for Ron Graham.
Annie can almost taste it. The room is electric. Here's the flop, Queen, King, Jack.
Great news for Annie. There'll be no low hand in this game. Her pair of queens right now are best.
The turn card is a 3, and that is going to clinch it. Annie Duke has defeated Ron Graham and has won her first World Series of Poker bracelets.
Annie Duke becomes the 8th woman to win a World Series bracelet, the 3rd in this year of the woman.
Into the arms of brother Howard Lederer.
It's been a long time coming. A lot of seconds here. A lot of them. See, I'm such a girl. In the end, I'm just a girl. I bet you've never seen a guy win a tournament and cry.
It has been a thrilling day here at the World Series of Poker. Annie Duke proved that it really doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman, just that you're a player. And Crystal Dunn showed that women can not only play tough, they can talk tough too.
I got you on the flop. Believe me.
That is so big right here. This is every poker player's dream, to have the bracelet and to say I'm a World Series of Poker champion.
For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. We'll see you next time from the World Series of Poker.